Today's video is going to talk about some recent events in the cryptocurrency world and efforts by the Trump administration to protect citizens from deception and fraudulent schemes using cryptocurrency. For those that don't know, Bitcoin is the first decentralized digital currency cryptocurrency, so Bitcoin and cryptocurrency are the same thing. Just like Valium is one type of drug, Bitcoin is one type of crypto, to give you a feel for how immense this network already is and how big it can get. As a foundation, Chainalysis's 2025 crypto crime report estimates $40.9 billion in illicit crypto activity for 2024 alone. In the last 10 years, cumulative fraud losses likely range from $50 to $100 billion based on estimates of $10 to $40 billion yearly. Crypto's decentralized nature, pseudonymity, and lack of regulation enable fraud. Blockchain transparency aids detection, but cross-border enforcement remains difficult, and blockchain has already been used to enable theft. Victims over 60 face the highest losses at $2.8 billion in 2024, but people aged 30 to 49 reported the most incidents, so they invest less, but get hit more often, probably because more of them are investing in Bitcoin than seniors. A huge bust has occurred, which started back in 2023 when the San Francisco field office of the U.S. Secret Service played a pivotal role in identifying and disrupting a major cryptocurrency scheme. This operation resulted in the seizure of nearly $9 million in Tether, a stablecoin pegged to the U.S. dollar, which was linked to a transnational cyber scam organization that defrauded over 70 victims through pig butchering schemes. These scams involved romance and cryptocurrency confidence frauds, where scammers built trust with victims, often through dating apps, social media, or random texts, before luring them into fake cryptocurrency investment platforms. Got it? Lure them and then butcher them. The San Francisco office, led by Special Agent in Charge Sean Bradstreet, leveraged its cyber fraud task force to trace the illicit funds. Agents and analysts tracked victim deposits through dozens of cryptocurrency addresses, uncovering a money laundering technique known as chain hopping, where funds were rapidly exchanged across different cryptocurrencies to obscure their origins. The investigation relied on victim reports from the FBI's Internet Crime Complaint Center and the Federal Trade Commission's Consumer Sentinel Network, with assistance from Tether Limited Inc. to execute the seizure. Located in the Bay Area, which is a global hub for cryptocurrency firms, the San Francisco field office has developed significant expertise. It enhanced its blockchain tracing capabilities. In 2022, it established the Digital Asset Technology Alliance, uniting local, state, federal, and private entities to combat digital asset threats, reflecting its proactive approach to emerging financial crimes. Did we ever hear about any of this stuff on the mainstream media, or was this just behind-the-scenes preparations for what is going down now? Which begs the question, were there people in place during the Biden administration who were preparing for Trump's return? I want to say that I mean no disrespect by not always using the entire President Trump title. I do a lot, but the president himself refers to himself as Trump. It is a brand, and it means so much more than the average man in office for 4 to 8 years. Trump will go down in history as a transformative figure in the fate of mankind. Fast forward to today and the fact that U.S. Attorney Jeanine Pirro has just announced a significant enforcement action targeting cryptocurrency confidence schemes, marking honestly the largest ever seizure of funds related to such scams. Leading the U.S. Attorney's Office for the District of Columbia, Judge Pirro, with support from President Trump and Attorney General Bondi, partnered with law enforcement nationwide to seize over $2.5 million in virtual currency linked to fraudulent schemes that exploited vulnerable victims. These scams, often involving manipulation to gain victims' trust, resulted in devastating financial losses. They used social media, bogus employment opportunities, and investment scams. Pirro said that this enforcement initiative involves an international human trafficking syndicate connected to foreign actors in multiple compounds in Southeast Asia, particularly in the Philippines and along the Myanmar-Thailand border. Southeast Asia is a major hub for sex trafficking, particularly women and children, for forced prostitution and related illicit activities. We are no longer victims of people in our own country. Cyberspace has made it nearly impossible to prosecute many crimes due to extradition laws. So the only way is to find some way to block these countries that seek to harm us, which can be done pretty easily. But even if we were to block all IP addresses from certain countries, the nature of the internet is such that they can just set up proxies and evade detection. So this is a problem, guys, and we are going to have to take the time to educate ourselves and use our own intuition to protect ourselves until a solution is found, because Judge Pirro made a point of telling us that the crypto market is an unregulated Wild West. U.S. Attorney Pirro said that these are sophisticated international bad actors who send stolen money through a variety of complex transactions and intermediary addresses between the initial victim deposit along the blockchain to launder and obfuscate the source of the funds. So basically, it sounds like they are using blockchain, which is intended to make transactions secure, and they are using it to create networks to hide the money trail. This is quite ingenious but not unanticipated. When I worked for the state, I took some classes at a place called the SANS Institute, which is now known as the Eskil Institute of Advanced Technologies. I went there when it was new, and if you could pay for the classes, you got in. I got some certifications, participated in a hacking contest, and even got to meet Captain Crunch, who was born John Draper and was the first phone phreaker back in the early 1970s, who gained notoriety for exploiting vulnerabilities in the U.S. telephone system. His nickname was derived from a toy whistle found in Captain Crunch cereal boxes, which emitted a 2,600 Hz tone when blown correctly. This matched the frequency used by AT&T's long-distance switching systems. By blowing the whistle into a phone receiver, Draper could trick the system into granting free long-distance calls, effectively hacking the network. He discovered this technique after learning from other freaks about the phone system's signaling tones and experimenting with the whistle. Draper's activities influenced early hackers like Steve Wozniak, and while he became a counterculture icon, they also led to his arrest in 1972 for wire fraud. When he got out, he became a public speaker, still as unkempt and crazy as ever, but that's what you get in a cybersecurity group. We had meals with him a couple times, and he has to be the strangest person I've ever met, almost like a cartoon character. Anyway, the SANS Institute became a premier training facility for cyber surveillance and counter-surveillance. I have a surface understanding of denial-of-service attacks, rootkits, antiviral software design, and so on, but one thing that I learned is that when you are dealing with cyberspace, the internet, or even internal networks, detecting and catching illegal activity is a constantly evolving science. Think of it like this. Do you think artificial intelligence could outsmart you? Absolutely. Hackers and system vulnerabilities are like that. For every move that's made to secure data, a vulnerability can be exploited to steal it. So it's ever-changing, and what we know one day becomes outdated quickly, sometimes in just months. This is the main reason that I have never embraced cryptocurrency. I never forgot what they said. There is no wireless device that is safe. That's why Hillary smashed them all after she got a subpoena to turn them over. So that's it, guys. Be safe. Don't fall for scams and be grateful that the Trump administration, through not one but all agencies, are removing criminals and predators away from the good people of the world who just want to be happy. Until next time, don't take any wooden nickels.